Okay, so welcome to Creating Beyond Reality. We are playing today with the topic of Got Superpowers and Xmen introduction. I'm so happy to be with you all. If you're listening to the audio, we just finished having an extensive chat about Bloody Marys. We didn't actually make them today, but we talked about them and we're drinking them now. I made them before we started. Two of my favorite things, cocktails, Bloody Marys, Xmen. It's a good day. And I have people here and we're going to do a bars trade afterwards. So how does it get better than that? This is really, the Xmen conversation has been such a life-changing conversation for me. I always get very excited when I get to share it with people. Because I had no idea what I was missing, basically, before I got exposed to this conversation. So what is an Xmen? Well, an Xmen is not at all defined. If you're listening and any of this conversation lights you up, then as one of my amazing people in my life, Gary Douglas, says, an Xmen, if this resonates with you, is you. Xmen are totally undefined and people that actually have a lot of capacities for the creation of a greater reality, a different reality, who have either been diagnosed as ADD, ADHD, OCD, autistic, other diagnoses, mental illnesses, things like that, or just think that they're really, 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 really wrong because they can't figure the world out. And that was actually what was true for me. I never got a diagnosis of any kind. I always thought, well, I can kind of, I can make this stuff work, I can do the world, I can do living in this world. But it also at the same time was sort of like, and oh my God, this is really boring and depressing, and what else is possible? This whole thing began for me when, and a lot of you guys have heard this, but Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, we were at a class and he said to me, have you acknowledged the difference that you be? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm not different. I'm totally normal. I'm average, real, same as everybody else. What are you talking about? Little sip of the cocktail. That was the beginning for me of looking from a different point of view at myself, how I functioned in the world, what was true for me. And actually starting to look at the conversation of difference and what is that? What is it to be different? And how am I different in ways that I don't acknowledge? And how are we all different in ways that we don't acknowledge? And what would it be like if we could actually really use that to create a different world, a different reality, and certainly a different life and reality for ourselves as well? Because what happens is a lot of times, anybody who doesn't fit in the context of this reality, if you don't get how this reality works, if you're not able to just like get up, go to work at 9, come home at 5, go to sleep, get up, go to work at 9, do that thing for 85 years and then die, and that doesn't sound fun to you, then you're probably at least a humanoid and perhaps an Xmen. Although again, Xmen are not something that we even really define. It's just a conversation. So then what? What do we do when we're like, we have this world and we don't know how to fit in, and yet I'd like to actually create something. I'd like to do something different. I'd like to be something different. So what's it going to take to really, create that as my reality? And for me, it was always just such a level of frustration of I know that I could create a millionfold more than I am right now. I know that I have superpowers. I know that I should be able to just shift the energy and have a whole universe of things change. I know I should be able to put my hands on a body and have that body change. I know I should be able to have my body change just by request, have the earth change by request, have situations change by request. And yet that wasn't what was showing up for me. And so what goes on for a lot of Xmen is sort of this frustration of, but I know I'm magic. I mean, I won't don't tell anybody, but I know I am, so then what, so how do I do it? What do I, and we look for all these things, and I had, sought out all these different conversations over the years of, different metaphysical, spiritual things, but nothing gave me really pragmatic tools for creating something different until I found Access Consciousness and all of the different conversations that we have, but this being one of them that really has allowed me to create something different. And part of what it is, a huge part of this is that Xmen have exponential awareness, like really, 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 really aware. And I don't mean to make that significant. I said really too many times. So it's not significant. But I also want to just invite you to start to acknowledge what's true for you. If any of this is like, oh, yeah, that makes sense, then okay, cool. And what happens is a lot of times we're so aware of the world, everybody, everything, the earth, other planets, other realities, like really aware, dynamically aware. And we don't know what to do with it. We don't even know that we're aware. We think that we can't focus. We think we can't concentrate. We think that we don't know how to talk. We think that we don't have any fucking idea how to interact with other people. We think that there's no way I could ever create a business. We think, oh my God, my body's so fucked up, I'm never going to be able to change it. It's going to just hurt always, or it's just going to be like this always, So, everything this is bringing up and letting down, can we please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, punch, shorts, boys, and mans. And if you don't know what I just said, that's the Access Consciousness clearing statement. It's like a delete button that deletes lots of energies, and you don't have to know what they are. One of the things I love about Access. If you want to know what that is, go to theclearingstatement.com and you can find out more. But you don't have to know. It just works. So that's cool. We end up, because one of the primary kind of things about humanoids and Xmen is, and if you've never heard the word humanoid, it's just sort of an acknowledgement that we just function. There are people in the world that just function differently. When we start to acknowledge, oh, I do actually function differently than how I'm supposed to, quote unquote, then we actually have a different possibility, and we get to start to see and be curious about what our capacities are, rather than making that a wrongness. Because one of the primary things about humanoids is that our sort of orientation in life is that we are wrong. And for people who are not humanoids, like humans, it's like the primary orientation is that other people are wrong. Like the wrongness goes this way for humans and it goes this way for humanoids and Xmen. So everybody's in judgment somehow of something. It might be of others, it might be of you. And neither's right nor wrong, and what else is truly possible? Because when we start to go beyond the judgment of everything and ourselves and all of that, we unlock and uncover these superpowers that we have for creation that are so different, that we truly, we really have not been able to unlock and uncover before. Because what happens is anything that you judge, anything that you make wrong and judge about anything, that you cannot receive from it. So you probably have lots of awareness, lots of things going on, lots of, you're aware of lots of things at once, and you maybe don't so much like people, and bodies are kind of weird, and you don't know what to, that kind of stuff. But we, instead of going, I wonder what my superpower is in all of this, we go to, I'm so wrong, I'm so fucked up, I don't know how to change it, I'm never going to be able to change it. So everything that is, can we destroy and uncreate it? Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pop, punch, shorts, boys, and mans. So what do we do with that? Well, one of the primary tools in Access Consciousness is to start asking questions, and really be curious about, okay, all right, what is my superpower here? What is actually right about me here that I'm not getting? And we start to open up and, make available to ourselves these capacities that we have that have been made so wrong by this reality. Because if you have capacities for creating magic and creating brilliance and creating, because you might have mega capacities for creating money that don't have a context in this reality, guess what you're going to do? You're going to judge them, you're going to use it against you, and guess what you're probably going to create? Shit with money. So everything that is can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, only, puck, punch, words, play dance. Now, the good news is all you have to do is flip it. This is one of my favorite sort of plays with the Xmen conversation is flip it. If you're willing to be as fast as Xmen are, very, 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 very fast, and flip everything on its head. So as soon as you go into judgment of you, flip it. Don't go to judgment. Why would you do that? Stop it. Stop it. I would say that's the most advanced tool in Access. Stop it. Don't go to judgment. Go to curiosity. Go to curiosity. Okay, so what is actually right about me that I'm not getting? What is right about this that I'm not getting? And what is the capacity here that I'm judging? What capacity do I have with this area, whatever it is, whether you're in pain in your body or you have money problems or whatever? What's the capacity here that I have that if I wasn't judging it and I wasn't judging me would reveal itself to me and that I could use to create a different reality? And everything that is times a gazillion when you destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all name, puck, pod, shorts, boys and beyonds. Yes, Selena, flip it. And that has been one of my, it's really because the thing about, I want to tell you 10 things right now. The thing about flipping it is it's a really easy tool. Like it actually is a really easy tool. If you just go, oh, never mind. What's my brilliance? Oh, never mind. What's right about this? Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. What's this? What's this? What's this? What? Like really, you can start to uncover so much. Like there's universes underneath everything that we've decided is wrong. That is where your superpowers lie. And so having the cognitive information can be really helpful with this, because if you know that everything that you're judging the fuck out of in your own life is actually where your brilliance lies, and you're asking for something different, for me, this can really help where I have a little chat with myself, it happens in about a nanosecond, but the chat is slowing it way down, Heather, you say you're asking for something different here, and yet you're judging this. And you know that when you judge this, you're actually going to create more of what it is that you're judging, because that's how it works. Anything you resist and react to, you're stuck, right? So, Heather, would you like to keep judging this and keep creating more of the same thing? Or would you like to just get curious about what your capacities are here and flip it and change it right now? So that little conversation occurs in about a nanosecond in my world. And it's not even really a conversation anymore. It's just, oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. And you've got to be willing to not function from judgment and to actually get out of judgment. And somebody said, IPOV, yes, interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. I've just today and yesterday really I use that tool all the time, but really stepping up how I'm using it. And wow, it's amazing because it gets you to so much space and so much allowance that nothing is wrong. There's no wrongness that can exist in the space when you be interesting point of view. And how do you be it? You use the tool like there's no fucking tomorrow, Use it, use it, use it, use it. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, they have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view about this, etc., etc. And before long, you start to be it. And when you be it, then flipping whatever the wrongness is that you've decided is so wrong about you is easy. You just go, oh, fuck that. I'm not actually going to keep doing that. Why would I keep doing that? No. let's do something different here. Let's play with the generative energies here. Let's play with the superpowers. Let's play with what's right about me I'm not getting. Because underneath all of it, you guys, I guarantee you, and you may just need to, judge the fuck out of you for 5 more years or 10 more years before you actually begin to look at this, and that's fine. That's not wrong. You can turn the fire off. It's right here.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So it's not wrong. And the thing that what I realized with all of this is I got to a point where I was like, oh my God. Like, it really is just a choice to stop judging myself. Like, oh geez. I was like waiting for like the moment to come where the clouds parted and the angels sang and all was right in the world and judgment was gone, That's not how it works. That's not how it happens. How it happens is you going, nope, not relevant, not valuable, not a contribution to me at all. I'm just not going to do that. It's a choice. It truly is a choice. And that's actually one of the superpowers that we have. And let me say something, too, is that, that Xmen, hold on a second. The hardest thing for me about cocktail chats is that I always have a really good cocktail sitting in front of me that I can't drink. It's torture, but I'm taking one for the team. You're welcome. No, I don't remember what I was going to say. No, I know what I was going to say. So here's the good news about all of this is that Xmen don't actually do judgment. You're like, oh yes, I do. I'll do it better than everybody else, But that's because you're aware. So what happens is we don't do judgment. We perceive it. We perceive it and we think that it's ours. Because the other thing is Xmen don't do separation. When we're functioning from the beings that we be, there isn't separation. There isn't judgment. It's space and awareness and capacities and superpowers. It is like total creative brilliance beyond this reality. Which is why this reality judges it and sees it as weird, because this reality is invested in maintaining itself. And so how do you control people out of their capacities? You judge them. You judge their capacities. How do you control yourself out of your capacities? You judge them. You judge you. You judge what's showing up. So everything that is, can we destroy it and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, punch, shirts, boys and mans. I really wish Facebook would start scrolling the comments again. It doesn't move the comments anymore on Facebook Live, and that just really makes me mad. Facebook, you need to change it. I think I've done more Facebook Lives than like everybody in the world or something. Because I do them every day, sometimes more than every day. I digress. Anyway. They should put me in charge of the Facebook Live department at Facebook, except I don't want a job. But we don't actually inherently know how to do judgment because it's not a part of our being. But what happens is we perceive it in the world, we think it's ours, and we also use our superpowers against us by actually like we have this capacity to perceive the nuances of energy, like to a like micro, And so what happens is we do that, we perceive all, like I know for me as a kid, I was like, I don't get how this whole thing works. So I'm not sure like what's wrong and what's right. So I guess I'll study the shit out of this reality, figure it out, take it apart dynamically, bit by bit by bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, and then I'll know how to do it better than everybody else. So that's something that Xmen do, is we use our brilliance to actually try to make sense of this reality that doesn't fucking make any sense, because it is completely run on judgment, and we don't actually know how to do judgment, but we're like, but I'll just pretend like I fit. I'll pretend like I'm a human, and yes, isn't that terrible? Aren't I awful? Isn't this situation awful? And we do all these crazy things to try to make ourselves, relevant in this reality. Helena was the same. Yeah. I just remember being like, my mom or somebody would judge me for something, and I'd be like, oh, okay. And I'd sort of like log it in like the Rolodex of like, note to self, this is wrong. Okay, this is wrong. Like when I don't wear underwear under my dress, and my dress, I lift up my dress. I did that once or twice when I was 4. I mean, that's a story for another time. But
just when she was 4.
Just when I was 4.
Oh, that was me. Wait.
So I was like, oh, note to self, that's wrong. Okay, that's wrong. But it was actually just my awareness of like everybody. I was like, oh, you all judge vaginas? Here. So I said vagina on my podcast. But yeah, so it's like that. So we end up either like being the Tourette's of this reality, sort of like, oh, nobody's talking about this? Well, I'm going to, which actually is still really fun for me. I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk about that? Well, then let's talk about it, So that's one of the fun things that we can do as Xmen, is just kind of fuck with people.
Because you're aware it bothers them.
And we call this a cocktail conversation. There's a mind-blowing, mind-fucking revealing. I know. Welcome to Xmen. I just had to lube you up with. I had to lure you with the promise of virtual Bloody Marys. But hey, taste it, guys. You're Xmen. You can taste it. Ask your body to perceive the taste. So yes, it is gold, and really, this is fucking life-changing. Like really life-changing. Well, it has been for me. I won't say that it is for you, but it has been for me. Of going, oh my God, everything really actually is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. So then what? How do we use that to our advantage? What if I judge myself a lot? Do I just perceive others' judgments? Yes, you are very aware of judgment, and you've taught yourself how to do it. You've learned how to do it. But the good news is, judgment does not, like when push comes to shove at the level of you being you, you don't actually know how to judge. You don't really know how. You just perceive it and think it's yours. Do it because everybody else is doing it. Buy it as real and true. And use it against yourself to make sure that your superpowers and your capacities never see the light of day. So everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pod, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Do you have a burning question? I was like, this isn't going to be interactive.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is that why we judge is that why we feel bad when we do it?
Is that why we feel bad when we do it? Well, yeah. I mean, because the thing is it's heavy. Anything that's a lie for you is heavy. Anything that's true for you is light. So if you're listening and you're going, oh my God, and your world is lighting up, it's like, that's true for you. Okay. So that's how you know. That's the speed of space that Xmen function from, which is like so fast. So, oh yeah, cool. Yes. Next, but when you feel bad, or you're like, or something's, and it's because it's not true for you. So we run around and we're like, yes, I know how to judge, and Amit says, yes, I don't know how to judge, mimic everybody else, and become so good at it. Exactly. And being like, because Xmen are fucking brilliant people. Like, Xmen are brilliant people. We are some of the most dynamically creative people on the planet, and we actually have the capacity to change the fucking world. But we hide it with our judgment because we do not want those superpowers to see the light of day. And we feel bad about it because, well, first of all, judging the judgment, it will keep you in judgment forevermore. instead of just choosing to stop. So that's one thing. But the heaviness and the wonkiness of it is because you know that it's not fucking true. It's not true for you. Judgment is so foreign in a way to Xmen, and in a way it's also totally not, because we've made ourselves experts at this virtual reality called this reality that is completely run on judgment. So everything that is, let's just destroy it, uncreate that, and have another Bloody Mary. Right, wrong, give that all 9 buck puncher explosions. Tamra says, ever since I learned about Xmen, I'm so dizzy. Can you say anything about that? Because I'm so multi-diverse. Well, what's actually true for you? I mean, there's so many places we can go with this conversation. But yeah, what is actually true for you in terms of how you move in the world, how your body actually functions? I mean, we can spend, a long time. I mean, we could take a whole weekend or 3 days or a week, you could keep going, really. There's no end to it. But we could take a whole 3-day class about Xmen and bodies, or a whole about Xmen and business, or Xmen and money, or, there's universes, because our bodies function differently. We function differently with our bodies. We have a different sense of proprioception. We don't relate to space and things around us as we have a different awareness of time and space, because it's not actually real. But this is the thing, is that these are all the things that have been suppressed in our reality through all the distractor implants of, all these things that we do. If you don't know what the distractor implants are, there's a book called Living Beyond Distraction. Really good, really central conversation to a lot of this. It's also in the foundation class in Access. But we use all these things to, totally eliminate. Your brain isn't coping. Good! Yay! Let yourself just change from this conversation, because these conversations, they are energetic. And here's a really important piece I want to make sure we talk about here, is that the reality, Xmen reality, is highly energetic. You have an energetic reality. You don't have a contextual reality. What's true for you as an Xmen is a highly energetic reality. It is not contextual. It's not linear. It doesn't make sense. There's no sense of right and wrong. There's no sense of A plus B equals C. There's no cause and effect. We've had all these clearings over the years in Access about causal reality and all these things. None of it is true for Xmen. It's right now, and there's also this. We have Xmen have a capacity. There's this simultaneity awareness, simultaneous awareness of time. So past, present, and future kind of all occurring at the same time in your awareness. So you might be aware of something. I wrote a post the other day. I sent it out on my email list too, if you guys are on my list, about how I was having a lot of intensity one day, every day. Especially lately, I'm like, rawr! I was having a lot of intensity with my body, and I wanted to just sort of like kill everybody. And I was also just really aware of like death. I was really aware of death. I was like, death is happening. Death is the thing. Death, you know? And it wasn't death, haha, I'm drinking a Bloody Mary, that's funny. It was like, fuck, man. And I couldn't really shake it. I was using tools. I was asking one of the greatest, my favorite question, one of my favorites, is what am I aware of? Because anything that's going on in your world, it's an awareness. You're just aware of something. It's not yours. It's an awareness. And sometimes you may need to do something with it. Sometimes it's relevant to you. Sometimes it's not. So what am I aware of? Is it relevant to me? Is anything required? Do I need to do anything with this? I was asking that. Nothing was really coming through. The next day, the volcano exploded in New Zealand and 50 people died. I was aware of it. My body was aware of it. My body was aware of the earth. My body was aware of the death. My body was aware of all of it. I was aware of all of it. I was in the future. I was aware of the future. And these are conversations that nobody tells you about when you're a kid. You know, it's not like we grow up going, yeah, you're aware. What are you aware of? You know, nobody asks you that ever, you know. which is one of the things I love about access consciousness and the conversations that we have and the classes, and partly why I love just fucking doing this stuff all day long every day, because I don't really want to be playing with anything else. I'm like, everything else is kind of a lie, you know? This is, and it's not about access consciousness, it's about like the awareness that I be and that we all be, and the capacity that we have to change the world, and the fact that it's time, you know? So be asking, what am I aware of? Is this a future thing? Is this a past thing? Because all of it is working in your world right now. Now, again, that is a capacity, you guys. It's because if you start to use that, it's like, I mean, if I was really willing to be super present with that awareness, who knows? But, if I had been in New Zealand or whatever, I'd be like, let's not go to that island today, you know? These are the things where you have a knowing, you go, I shouldn't get on that plane. I just know it. Or it's not time to leave my house, even though it's time to go. It's not time to leave, you know? These are these awarenesses that we have all day long. We don't recognize what's going on. A lot of times we don't listen to them. But this is like, Xmen function so quickly, so fast, such a speed of space, so much awareness going on all the time, that when you're willing to just follow it and be what would be sort of determined in this reality as being all over the place, when you're all over the place, you're probably being you. And go with it. Don't look for the linearity of it. Don't look for what is contextual about it. Don't look for something to make sense. Don't look for the cause and effect. Don't look for you and your awareness to fit into this reality. Because as soon as you do, you give up your superpowers. Look for, what do I know here? What am I aware of here? What are my capacities here? What's right about me that I'm not getting? How can I flip it? And then if you're willing to function from that and let that really move you in your life, holy crap, that is so dynamic. Because then you can create shitloads of money. You can create mega change with your body, with other bodies, with the planet. You can create a business totally beyond this reality. There's like so many things that I do in my business that I never would have done before I had these tools, but it's like I just know, okay, this, and I just realized yesterday how much more of that I could be stepping into, there's always more, but it's all these things that seem weird, that seem irrelevant, that seem like they're wrong, that when you start to listen to them and perceive them and receive them, it's like, oh my God, holy crap, this is a whole other universe of being and creation and receiving and perceiving and being in the world and being with ourselves that is so phenomenal. And it allows us to actually create the world that we know is possible, the lives that we know are possible, the earth that we know is possible. But all of it is lurking underneath all of the judgments that you have about you and your circumstances or whatever. Like, if you have a money problem, stop judging it. Just stop judging it. Like, really see if you can just choose to stop judging it. And that might sound way easier said than done, but truly when it comes down to it, that's all that it is a choice. And sometimes we have to clear a lot of stuff in order to get to where we just go, nope, not going there, and I get it. And I've realized, with the level of judgment that I'm willing to let go of about myself, and there's still lots there, but I've realized more and more as I play with this, there's nothing that's going to change this other than me just going, nope. In the moment, present with my judgment of me and going, no. I don't care what it takes. I'm not fucking doing that. I might have to take a nap right now to shut my mind off. I might have to go have sex. I might have to go for a run. I might have to, I don't know what, dance or, talk or I don't know what, run around in circles, get my bars run, whatever it is, but I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking doing that anymore, and then you'll see there's layers and layers and layers, and we just keep going, keep choosing, keep creating, keep moving in the direction of more, but there's no value to judgment. The only thing that it serves is the purpose of is eliminating your superpowers and your capacities, eliminating you as a being, invalidating you as a being, invalidating everything that you know. And as soon as you begin to start to choose a reality beyond that, and you really start to get curious about what's true for you, what's true about you, and how you can play in the world, then like every wrongness becomes your strongness. Everything that is fucked up about you becomes your superpower. Now, you don't have to tell anybody about it. You don't have to show anybody it. You don't have to, because some of these things are really just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone, you know, where it's truly just, you know, because sometimes when you tell people like, oh my God, I just created all this money, or I just, you know, like got myself from here to there in 30 seconds and that shouldn't have happened or whatever. As soon as you tell people about it, they project and they reject and they separate and they judge. And that has an impact on our worlds where we aren't willing to actually fully embody, you know, what's actually occurring. Because one of my favorite quotes, I've said this a million times lately, is what you don't acknowledge doesn't exist. And when you are judging you or buying the judgments of other people, you're unacknowledging all these capacities that you have. Well, guess what? They don't exist. Thank you, Dane, here for that quote. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. What you don't acknowledge doesn't exist. Nobody else is going to acknowledge it. You have to. But you cannot have judgment and acknowledgement in the same breath. You can't be acknowledging you and judging you at the same time. It doesn't work that way. So you're going to have to choose something, you know? Is it going to be judging you as wrong, eliminating your superpowers, eliminating your capacities, or not doing that, acknowledging you, acknowledging, shit, there's something really different going on here that I'm aware of, or I just created something really cool, acknowledge it, shh, don't tell anybody. Or, you know, maybe it's light to tell somebody and they can contribute, but look at the energy of it. And as soon as you begin to acknowledge something, it grows and grows and grows and grows. It grows and grows and grows. How cool is that? And this is the energetic reality that is true for so many of us. And this is how we create that as greater and more substantial and more real. And we change the world with it. This is how you uncover these hidden superpowers and capacities that you've had for fucking trillions of years. And you start to use them and receive them and institute them and be them and live them. Nobody has to get you. And, you know, I'll just throw in here before I leave that part of it is you have to be willing to be different, because this makes you different from the rest of the world. And people won't get you and they'll judge you and all that kind of stuff, you know. But is it time to just let go of that as relevant, real and true at all? Because that's always going to be there. People are always going to judge you. But what are you going to do with it? Be interesting point of view. Keep going. Turn it up, you know? Or stop yourself from being the brilliance that you be. I mean, what's it going to be, guys? Because you can't have both. You can't have everything that you're asking for and make yourself fit into other people's realities. It doesn't work. So what's it going to be? Neither one is right, neither one is wrong, but it's a choice. It's a choice. Yes, creating your reality from other people's realities and universes. Claudia at the castle, hi. Okay, so that's a whole shit ton of really energy. I mean, I said a lot of words too, but a lot of energy. And that's how change occurs for Xmen, is really the energetic level. We can talk, and we're talking, and you're getting some things cognitively. I get that. And there's a lot of energetic change going on here too. So let's acknowledge that. And where can you go from here? What else can you create? What can you do? What can you be? How much fun can you have with your superpowers? Because I really would like to see a world where all of us are like, I'm weird too. Let's go. You know, what weird shit are you doing today? You know, and we get to play, and we actually make it our world. It's time to make it our world, guys. Like, really, it's our world. It's our Earth. It's our planet. You know, let's not, like somebody said to me the other day, oh, we're going to have to find another planet when this one gets too crowded. And I was like, fuck you. Like, there is no other planet for me. I mean, other lifetimes, whatever. But this planet is fucking phenomenal, and I love it. And I would like to actually contribute to the thriving of planet Earth, because if Earth thrives, we get to thrive. And guess how the Earth thrives? Is by us getting out of judgment. Because the last thing I'll say about the judgment in this 10 seconds is it is killing the Earth. It's killing the Earth. So it's not only killing your life, the possibilities, creation, it's killing the Earth. Time to stop. For me, at least. You can choose whatever you're going to choose. So, just thank you guys. Thank you guys. This has been amazing. There's way more. I am going to be doing lots of Xmen classes in 2020, starting with bringing in the new year. I have a 2-day Xmen class going on right here with cocktails and yumminess and fireside and all kinds of fun stuff. December 30th and 31st. It's happening here in Boulder, Colorado, and we're doing it online as well. If you'd like to join us on Zoom, a really deep dive into the difference that we be. It's called Disabilities or Abilities. It's a 2-day class. You have to have had a 1-day Xmen class or a foundation to take it. And there's a way to do the 1-day class if you haven't. So that's happening. I'm also starting this week an 8-week deep dive into bodies, like really an exploration of this in regards to bodies, and it's called Body Show Me. That's an online class. That's going to be fucking epic. It already is for me. It's 8 weeks of weekly calls, a small group of people, private sessions with me, a real dive into a totally different reality with our bodies that is generative and vibrant and alive and orgasmic and communion with the earth and being the Xmen that we be with our bodies. So that's happening too. All kinds of things going on. You can go to my website, heathernichols.com. It's all there on the class, on the homepage. A lot of it's there. There's a classes page. And for those of you who are not on my 12 Days of Christmas, it's a free thing I'm doing right now. 12 Days of Christmas, 12 gifts, a gift every day. Today was day 6. You can sign up. And in there is also an introductory Xmen class that I did. I think it was like 2 hours. I just gave it away for free. Among a lot of other things, amazing money and business conversations, body conversations, clearing loops, stuff like that. So you can go to heathernichols.com/12 days if you want to get in on the goodies for that. That is going to be, well, we're in the middle of it, but if you sign up now and you haven't yet, you'll get all the previous days. And it's literally, it's kind of ridiculous. Like every day it's like a major, it's clips of things that we, like 20-minute clips from classes and calls and stuff, and some entire calls that we've never shared before. So it's not like, here's a SoundCloud clip that's already there. It's like, just for you, we created this. It's been really fun to create. We're still creating it actually every day. We're like, what are we going to do tomorrow? So if you want more on Xmen, there's a lot in there as well. And love to have you for New Year's. It's going to be really, really, really fun. So thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Selena, for posting. She's posting some links down below. The Xmen 2-day class, the Body Show Me class. And like I said, it's all on my website, heathernichols.com. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for being the brilliant beings that you be, Xmen, humanoids, whatever the fuck. We don't have to call it anything. Just please recognize that if you made it to the end, you're different. You're different. You're weird. You're awesome. I love you. You're my people. Let's do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. And I hope to see you somewhere in the world soon.